I've found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela once said, "There is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure that in your experiences with school, applying to college, choosing a major, and deciding what you want to do with your life, people have told you, make sure you have something to fall back on. But I never understood that concept. Why have something to fall back on? If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. At least this way, I'll see what I'm about to hit. Without consistency, you'll never finish. So do what you are passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test that involved 9 dots. You had to draw 5 lines through all the dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was by thinking outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big. Don't be afraid to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in baseball history. But no one remembers the strikeouts, they remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't, because the 1,001st experiment was the light bulb. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks. I'm sure you've heard that before, but I want to explain why it's important. You will fail at some point in your life. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something, there's no doubt about it. And I know that's not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but it's the truth. Embrace it because it's inevitable. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early in my career, I auditioned for a part in a Broadway musical. It was the perfect role for me, except for the fact that I couldn't sing. I didn't get the job. But I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there and prepared for the next audition, and the next, and the next. I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed. But I continued to fail. It didn't matter, because there's an old saying, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut. You will catch a break, and I did. Last year I did a play called Fences on Broadway. Here's the kicker, it was at the same theater where I failed my first audition 30 years prior. The point is, every graduate here today has the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again, if you don't fail, you're not even trying. To get something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. Imagine you're on your deathbed and standing around you are the ghosts of your unfulfilled potential, the ideas you never acted on, the talents you never used. They're angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, but now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts will be around your bed when your time comes? I recently returned from South Africa, a beautiful country. But there are places with terrible poverty that need help. And Africa is just the tip of the iceberg. The Middle East needs your help. Japan needs your help. Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana, Philadelphia, these places need your help. The world needs a lot, and we need it from you. We really do. We need it from your young people. I'm not speaking for the rest of us up here, but I know I'm getting a little grayer. We need it from you. Remember this, you've got to get out there and give it everything you've got, whether it's your time, your talent, your prayers, or your treasures. What are you going to do with what you have? I'm not talking about how much you have. Some of you are business majors. Some of you are theologians. Some of you are nurses or sociologists. Some of you have money. Some of you have patience. Some of you have kindness. Some of you have love. Some of you have the gift of long suffering. Whatever it is, whatever your gift is, what are you going to do with what you have? Now, here's my last point about failure. Sometimes it's the best way to figure out where you're going. Your life will never be a straight path. I started at Fordham University as a pre-med student. I took a course called Cardiac Morphogenesis. I couldn't read it, I couldn't say it, and I surely couldn't pass it. So I switched to pre-law, then to journalism. With no academic focus, my grades took off in their own direction. I had a 1.8 GPA, and the university politely suggested I take some time off. I was 20 years old, at my lowest point. One day, on March 27th, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop. There was an older woman there, one of the town elders. I didn't know her, but she kept staring at me. Finally, she took the dryer off her head and said something I'll never forget, young man. I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy. You are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people. In the years that followed, just as she said, I have traveled the world and spoken to millions through my movies. Millions who couldn't see me and who I couldn't see. But I see you today, and I'm inspired by what I see. I'm strengthened by what I see. Taking risks isn't just about going after a job, it's also about being open to people, to ideas, to opportunities. The chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, and the faith you have, that's what's going to define you. Never be discouraged. Never hold back. Give everything you've got. And when you fall throughout life, remember this: fall forward.